Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is a video about this is gonna be a video about what I've learned from 2024. All the lessons I've learned. You know all the lessons I've learned. And before I used to just a quick story before that. Before I used to be a kid, didn't really give a fuck about what I did. So I always do the same thing. I would never analyze what I did or learn from my mistakes if I did and make any. So I was just living life, not even caring what I did. If I did a mistake, I wouldn't really learn from it. I never learned anything actually. I never learned. And so then I was just living miserably. So I would always repeat the same mistake year after year. But then I learned that I was never going to improve that way. And so right now now I look back at what I've learned the past year and also my mistakes in order for me to improve. So in this video I'm gonna go through 3 things that I've learned, or 3 topics, which is gonna be for my work, my relationships, and my fitness. I think let's just start with the work. So this year, literally one of the biggest things that I've learned is I have no time. Literally, you see all of these millionaires, but they all became millionaires by the age of 40, 50. They're old. And then you look at these young millionaires like Eamon Gayatri, for example. He became a millionaire he was 20. And the reason why he became a millionaire was because he started early. And before I even started my YouTube channel, I had a belief no, I should get ready first. I should make everything perfect. I should get the gear first. I should learn how to do this. I should improve on that. I should learn how to speak on camera. Have a bunch of topics ready so that everything will be flawless. But that's not how it works, really. So I had a friend who told me he's doing another business, and he started even younger than what I did. He started at I don't know, 10, 13. He started really young, and he just told me bro, you can't wait. You just gotta start now, because the more you wait, the older you become, and the less valuable you are. Because when you look at millionaires, if you look at 40-year-old millionaires, he had his entire life to work on that shit, but he never did. And when you look at a 17-year-old, 18-year-old millionaire, you'd be shit, that nigga put a lot of grind into it. And people he just told me that people will go for younger younger people now. So if you had to choose between an entrepreneur who would coach you, would you choose the 40-year-old, 60-year-old entrepreneur or the 23-year-old entrepreneur? I'll choose the 23-year-old. Why? Because he's younger, he's more flexible, he's more used to this world we're living right now. And he's also I think he's worked harder as well. But I learned that it's not really wait, hold on. But this is the biggest thing that stopped me from my procrastination is I gotta just start now, because if I don't start now, I'm never going to start. And this is a big problem between many guys I know. They always procrastinate, they always push it back. It's such a huge problem, it's fucking crazy. But just there is no time for you to wait. Just start now. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you think of doing, bro, start now. Another thing is investments. If you're like me and you like to save up money, just know that by you staying constantly trapped, or not trapped, but anxious about spending your money, you just gotta let go of that belief, because spending money, well, it depends on what you spend your money on, but spending money on things that can make you more money, for example, spend money on your business, that's an investment. That's something you should spend your money on. You should not be scared of spending money on something that's gonna improve your life, something that's gonna make you more money, something that's gonna help you in the future. You should not be scared of spending that kind of money. I used to be scared, and that's why I had a big setback where I didn't improve for a long while. but it's really good to make investments because you'll just improve. Last thing is like for work is like what diet you eat. Diet is really important. Like I've come to realize that this year, but like diet is like one of the most important things that we can like change, because all of this shit food that we have in today's society is like, bro, it's fucked up. All of these foods, they fuck up your brain, they fuck up your health, all of this shit. But for work specifically, for like business wise, I've learned like if you cut out all like sources of carb, like rice, potatoes, all of this shit, carbs, then like your brain just works better for like productivity and shit. And there might be a few of you like who don't agree with like, and you think carbs are healthy. Like don't get me wrong, I still eat carbs sometimes, but one thing I never do is I never eat carbs in the morning. I never eat carbs in the morning because in the morning when I wake up, my brain is fresh. I don't want to ruin it with like putting in starches and carbs, because every time I eat some kind of carb, I get brain fog. And whenever I get brain fog, I can't do my work. Like I can't record YouTube videos, I can't script, I can't do my work. So I just cut out carbs like in the morning. If you want to eat carbs like during like in the middle of the day, that's up to you. Like for work specifically, cut out carbs. Like if you want to be the most productive as you can be, cut out all the carbs. Now we're moving on to Now let's move on to like relationships. For relationships like friends, girls, all of this. One of the biggest things I've learned is like get rid of your anxiety. Getting rid of your anxiety of like losing them, trying to make an impression on them, trying to make them like you. Get rid of all of these thoughts, all of this anxiety, all of this bullshit. Because it's not gonna work. By you thinking these thoughts, you just turning yourself into like an obsessive little bitch. Like, you get what I mean? When you start to get anxious about what people think about you, if they like you or not, you're gonna start act like a little boy who's like obsessive. You're gonna start getting obsessive, and we all know when you get obsessive, people get repulsed by it. When you start getting obsessive, people get repulsed by you. And so by you acting obsessive, you're not gonna make friends. And your friends are just gonna get disgusted by you. So get rid of your anxiety. Second thing is that no one really cares, or no one wants to see you living miserably. No one cares. So back a few years ago, I always thought like, that lonely kid was the most popular kid. I always had this weird belief that if I was living miserably, I would get people's attention and people would start talking to me more because they would want to help me. And I got this belief from like movies, Hollywood movies and shows and all of this. This is the biggest bullshit that I've ever thought. This is the biggest bullshit. No one gives a fuck if you're living miserably. Matter of fact, people are gonna start laughing at you if you start living miserably. Like, if you're this depressed kid, no one gives a fuck. No one does. Not even I give a fuck. Like, if I see a kid living depressed, like, I'm on my class, I don't give a fuck. I just think the guy's a loser and I don't talk to him. Like, no one gives a fuck if you're depressed and shit. No one does. You gotta fix your life, cuz. You just gotta fix your life. Because if you don't, who's gonna? No one else is gonna help you. You're in this journey alone. Always remember that. Another thing is like, never be the clown. In a friend group or anything, never be the clown. Always be the guy who demands respect. By you being a clown, everyone's gonna make fun of you, but it's like, it's not the good kind of fun. Because you're always dependent on what other people think. You're always dependent on other people's opinions of you. And you're just turning yourself into a weak man, into a weak little boy who's always dependent on what this guy thinks. If he laughs at you, do you really want to humiliate, or do you really want to like ruin yourself, your image, just to make another guy laugh at you? The guy doesn't even respect you, and you still want to make him laugh. Like, come on, bro, get your shit together. Another thing is like, don't force shit. Don't force relationships. Don't force friendships. I tried to force many relationships. I tried to force many friendships, and like, it never worked. It always got ruined in the end. Because when you're forcing things, it's like, again, you become obsessive. You become like, you get this type of personality that like people get repulsed by it. And this comes to like anything in life. Don't ever force things in life. You can certainly work on it, but don't force things. Don't force shit. And another thing is like, if you're in a friend group or if you're in a relationship, make sure you provide value. Because like, if we think when someone provides value, we respect them more. We become more dependent. Or, yeah, we respect them more, and we like that person more, and we want to hang around that person more. When you become someone who provides value in your friend group, those people are gonna want to spend time with you more. And how you can provide value is basically just either giving advice or asking for advice. Like if you're doing nothing, you're just there, they're gonna start to like forget about you. Like, cause you're not really providing any value, so it's like, why would they keep you there? You get what I mean? Now let's move on to fitness. So about fitness, the biggest lesson I've learned is that like consistency is like is key. You want to go by your fitness with consistency, and that's the only way you like actually improve on it, is by being consistent. Because if you're not consistent, you're gonna fall off. And I had this problem, you know, because I do wrestling. I've been doing wrestling for many years, and I was never consistent with it. I was always like, I never wanted to go to like practice, and I would just go because my dad forced me to go. And I never wanted to go. Sometimes I'd skip practice. I'd always like try to skip it if I could. I'll make excuses and all this bullshit. And with time, the people I went with, they just became better and better and better, and I just was stagnant. I never improved. And that's because I never showed up. I was never consistent with my practice. I would go one time, I'd skip 2 weeks, I'd go another time, and then I'd skip 3 months. Like, you get what I mean? I was never consistent, and I never learned. I never got better, I never improved. While the others improved, I stayed the same level for years, for months and years, until I finally like started to get consistent with it. The second thing is like mindset. You need to have a mindset to whatever your fitness is. It either be like a goal or like just getting into your head that like you gotta do this shit. For me, it was like I set up a goal and I was like, I actually want to do it. Because for years, I never wanted to go to like wrestling. I never wanted to do wrestling. But then I quit. I finally quit after years of not wanting to do it. I quit, finally. But I wasn't happy. Even though I didn't want to go, I wasn't happy. And that was because deep down, I was doing it so many times that like it became part of me. And so like I didn't want to really abandon it. And so I thought about it for a month or 2 months. And I got back into it. And this time, not because my dad told me to go into it, because for years it was always my dad who put me through like wrestling, to put me on this journey. And I'm so grateful that he did. Because now I got back into it, but not with his opinions, not with like him telling me to do it, but because I wanted to. And ever since then, I've been so consistent with it that like I've almost never skipped a practice. I've always been like prioritizing my wrestling practices and shit. So always find like the mindset, always find a goal. And always have like a reason to go, not just because your dad tells you to go, not because someone tells you to go. Find a reason why you want to go. If you don't want to go, then you don't have to. But if you want to go, then by all means go, do it. And probably the most important thing is like your diet. When coming onto fitness, your diet is probably the most important thing ever. Like this, like the biggest. What's it called? Diet is so important. It's like, but I didn't even know how important it was until like a few months ago. So like when coming to your diet, you always need to like do your nutrition, what you're eating, stop eating bullshit, all of this. Because there's a lot of toxins, a lot of poison in certain foods like sugars, fast foods, all of this. They have like chemicals and shit that lower your testosterone, all of this. The diet is probably one of the most important things in your fitness journey. And there's a lot of fitness influencers that will tell you the same thing. Like diet is super important, not just for building muscle, for building testosterone, your drive, your mental health, all of this. Diet is the most important thing when it comes to fitness. Diet, and like I'd say diet and consistency and hard work for fitness. Yeah. But anyways, guys, that was the lessons I've learned from 2024, and I hope I've helped someone with these, and I'll certainly like make up for it 2025, with all of these lessons, and I'm gonna learn so much more. But anyways, see you guys.